You ever find yourself feeling like the fifth wheel? Did you ever stop to consider that the fifth wheel is the steering wheel? October 17th, 17 days until the general election. I returned late last night from the desert. I went out to Joshua Tree, California, and spent a lot of time in big open spaces, and it did me a world of good. You may see some sun on my face, which is very rare for me, especially these days. But I came to certain peaceful places within myself. I haven't solved all of my problems, but I got a little more clarity in where I'm going, what I'm doing, who I am, what this is, and I'm very happy about that. I'll write you about it sometime soon, or do one of these and go into more detail. But right now, I'm letting it simmer and percolate and holding on to the experience for myself for just a little bit longer. While I was out there, I had a brief conversation virtually with my friend Robert Judd, who has been a longtime friend, as well as being support and a mentor and a teacher, and somewhat of a spiritual guide for me in ways he's not even aware of. But we had a brief conversation, and in it he was talking about an idea that I had put forth that reminded him of something that he had taught. He's a rabbi and a wonderful, fabulous human being who teaches even when he's not intending to. But he said, he put these words towards me: you can't give or receive when your hand is in the shape of a fist. And also, holding your hand in a fist is more painful than in opening it. All of my performance, all of my everything that I do is done with the hand at least partially open and put forth to give or to receive. I had not thought of this way before. There's no part of any of the art that I do that requires a clenched fist or a closing off. And I found that quote fascinating, and maybe it's good for someone out there as well. But I wanted to put it forth. I asked his permission to quote him, and he said that was fine. Of course, there are times holding a tool, holding a weapon requires the closing of the fingers, the clenching of the fist, but an action of love, an action of acceptance, an action of giving requires the open hand, the open palm, the open heart, and the open mind. And that's kind of what I'm reflecting on today in a quiet time, in a quiet moment after my little adventure in my own space now, in my quiet space. Los Angeles is not as quiet as Joshua Tree, California. I noted the quiet. I noted that I could hear my own self for a little while. Now I'm back at home, and it's not as quiet, but it is a peaceful day. Peaceful out there, peaceful in here. And I still feel that as confused and as terrifying and as fearful as these times are, there's still an awful lot of love. There's an awful lot of kindness and giving. There's an awful lot of righteousness in standing up in a peaceful but firm and determined manner, giving with love and giving with kindness and changing the world in our direction. 17 Days is one of my favorite songs by Prince. It's a B-side to an album that came out, to a song that came out around the Purple Rain era in the mid-'80s. If you haven't heard it, it's a beautiful little song. And the chorus of which, or the pre-chorus of which, is called, goes, "Let the rain come down." And in my mind this morning, I heard that as R-E-I-G-N, rain, let the rain come down. Let those with open hearts and open hands lift and guide and show kindness and show love to the people who don't get love enough, to the people that don't get art enough, to the man who has never gotten love except that which he has paid for. I do have empathy for that man, though I would like to see him gone from the stage. The divisiveness and the anger has had its time, and I believe it's time for a new season. 17 days. Please vote. Please love one another. Please close the gaps. I hope there's love where you are. This morning I posted a performance video to the Patreons, to the patrons on the Patreon page for them, and they get everything first. I edited late into the evening last night on a pre-show shenanigans part 2. It's a short little video. It's a fun little video of a performance at the Magic Castle of the only children's trick that I do. The patrons get it first for a couple of days because of their support and their love they've extended my way. But in a couple of days, it's coming to you, and I hope you'll enjoy it. It's a fun piece. It's a funny piece, and something I'm very proud of. I hope there's love with you are. Vote. Vote. Please vote.